All right, well, you know what, folks? I know that I said that this was going to be already like a time-saving measure, but sorry if this one is even rougher than my first. Life has thrown a few wrenches in the works, but it's okay. We're here, we're queer, and we're going to make a video. So, let's get to it. Hey folks, my name is Dennis, and I'm a Nintendo kind of person. I owned pretty much just Nintendo systems my entire life. However, there was one exception, the PlayStation 2. Now, I didn't play the PlayStation 2. It was mostly for my brother to enjoy. I only owned a few games on it. Kingdom Hearts 2, both of which I'm not very much a fan of anymore, and a game that I still am a very big fan of, Katamari Damacy. Katamari Damacy roughly translates to Clump Spirit. It is a game series developed and published by Bandai Namco, the first game being released in 2004 for the PlayStation 2. The game has you taking control of the Prince of all Cosmos. You need to fix some of the mistakes of your father and replace the stars in the sky. To do this, you push the Katamari, which is just a big, sticky ball. Doing so will attach whatever you run over to the Katamari, as long as it's not too big. If it's too big, you bounce off, and you have a chance of losing some of the things that you might have already stuck to the Katamari. And you have to do this under a certain time limit or other restrictions, such as only rolling up bears. This is all set to some really great jazzy J-pop, and in a wonderfully blocky and colorful world. The game was directed by artist and designer Takahashi Keita, with the goal of making a game that was novel, fun, and easy to understand. In 1995, Takahashi studied art and sculpting at Musashino Art University in Tokyo. He developed a philosophy of whimsy and practicality in his art. When he left university, he pivoted from being a full-time sculptor to getting involved in video games. He joined Namco in 1999 as an artist and worked on small projects for the publisher. Takahashi has said that his inspiration for Katamari Damacy comes from a concept showed to Sony Computer Entertainment called Densen, in which a young girl traveled through power lines, and also Tamakorogashi, a game played during Japanese school sports days where students will push a large ball into a goal. Development began in 2001, and the game was released in March of 2004 in Japan as a budget title. While the game did not meet the estimated sales for the first year, it did take a spot in the top 10 best-selling games in Japan for its first 9 weeks, which is quite a feat for a new IP. The public reaction was so positive that Namco ordered a sequel, much to the chagrin of Takahashi. You see, Takahashi was very much against the idea of sequels, though he did work on the direct sequel, We Love Katamari, which was released in 2005. This would be the last game in the series that had his direct involvement. The sequel was well received like the original, both in the Japanese market and internationally. 12 more games would be released on various platforms, including the PSP, iOS, Xbox 360, Android, DSiWare, PlayStation 3, PS Vita, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Takahashi would go on to develop 5 more games, most recently Watam, which has a very Katamari-like feel, where the player controls a character doing menial tasks. I've not played the game myself, but I'm really interested because it looks like a lot of fun. Takahashi did not want Katamari to be touted as innovative, but just as a way to bring silliness back into the world of gaming. Unfortunately, this humble request could not be satisfied. At the time, first-person shooters were kind of a big deal, and a quirky little game where you controlled a tiny person pushing a giant ball with odd controls just was considered creative and out of the box. But that's enough about real life. Let's get into the lore. Well, we're actually only going to be looking at the lore of the first game, as it lays the groundwork for the rest of the series, which is incredibly self-referential. The story is simple. You take the role of the Prince of all Cosmos, a cute little green alien standing at only 5 centimeters tall. Adorable. One night, your father, the galaxy-sized king of all cosmos, who, by the way, is kind of hot and it kind of gives me conflicting feelings. Anyway, your dad knocks out all of the stars and celestial bodies in space because he was binge drinking. I don't know if it's because of the drinking or, purposefully poorly translated dialogue, but his speech is very funny, and he refers to himself in the royal we, and he's very dense. Despite all of this, he is still quite the charming man. Your father sends you to Earth to roll up stuff with a Katamari so you can replace the stars. When you finish rolling up stuff with your Katamari, you give it to your dad, and he throws it up into the sky and burns it up, people and all. This part's never really talked about, but in order to turn these Katamari into stars, the people and the animals and everything has to be burned up, and they're still alive when they're attached to it. Like, what the hell? Why don't we talk about this part? It's so weird. Anyway, while this is happening, there is a B-plot involving the Hoshino family. Mutsuo, the son, notices the strange goings-on involving the lack of celestial bodies and the prince rolling stuff up. Mizue, the mother, thinks that her son fretting over all of this is cute and blows it off until her husband, Tomino, explains that his shuttle launch to the moon has been called off because there's no more moon. There's even sort of a C-plot surrounding Michiru, the daughter, who can sense when the prince has rolled up enough things to remake constellations. This has led to one of my favorite lines in gaming history.
Oh, I feel it. I feel the cosmos. Cancer came scuttling back. So yummy.
Like, what the fuck? During the game, you can also roll up your cousins, who all look like strange variations of the already strange-looking prince, and you can use them as playable characters in the multiplayer mode. And you know what? That's gonna be it for today. This was a short video because there's not too much nuance to the game. You know, that's pretty much it. I told you basically everything. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and check out my other videos. Word of warning though, this is one of my non-academic videos, and my other content features stuff like leftist politics, critiques of capitalism, discussions on racism, and critiques of colonialism and imperialism. So if that's not your thing, well, make it your thing because you want to be on the right side of history. I want to thank some of my donors, Abby, Nicholas, and Psychic Dolphin Garage, and the cool kid Jorge. If you want a shout out like these folks, you can donate to my Patreon or my Ko-fi. It really helps me out a lot, especially in these times where, as a tutor, I don't have that many students because it's the holiday season. If you'd like a little devil drawing of yourself, like the cool kid Jorge, donate at the $6.66 level, and I'll whip one up for you, and you will also be noted as a cool kid. If you donate at a higher level and you still want the devil drawing, just let me know, and you will still be a cool kid. Please go check out some other small lefty creators like Rutgo, who featured yours truly in a recent video via voiceover. It's a great video about the manosphere here on YouTube and how those creators use toxic masculinity and manipulation to warp the minds of young men. It's good stuff, so go check it out. I highly recommend checking out a console version of Katamari Damacy, in particular the Nintendo Switch re-release of the original game, Katamari Reroll. Not just for the gameplay, but also for the music, which is one of the best aspects of the game. While doing research for this essay, one of the best parts, other than actually playing the game to get some gameplay footage, was listening to the music. It is a joyous, joyous soundtrack. If you've played a game in the Katamari Damacy series, what's your favorite game? What's your favorite song from the series? My favorite game certainly is the re-release on Nintendo Switch, and my favorite songs are tossed between Lonely Rolling Star and Walking on a Star. Both certified bops, as the kids say. So that'll be it for today, and until next time, take care, and goodbye.